everyone, this is Jenna McLaughlin for the first ever episode of Be A Lobster. I'm so excited. I have a great show planned for you guys today for the first one. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the heck that even means. What does Be a Lobster even mean? Something that I've heard about a bajillion times since I decided to start this show. So basically, Be a Lobster is the show that's going to help you, and also I, come out of our shell. I think that too many people, including myself, care way too much about what the world thinks of them. I mean, I was bullied all throughout high school, and that kind of carried me into college. I found a lot of times I would walk through campus with my head down low, super afraid to be seen. A lot of times in social situations, I can get super nervous. And let me tell you a little bit about lobsters, who's also uncomfortable just like us. Because, putting my science hat on, lobsters, they need to outgrow their shell a few times in their life and shed the old one. This is called molting. Lobsters molting is a lot like when humans go through challenging or uncomfortable experiences in order to grow. And just as lobsters have to shed those tight, restrictive shells to continue growing, we often have to go through tough situations that push us outside of our own comfort zones. And during these times, we might feel vulnerable or exposed, just like how lobsters do after shedding its shell when it's super soft and defenseless. Just as the lobster's new shell eventually hardens and becomes stronger, we come out of these difficult experiences more resilient, having learned and grown from them. It's a natural part of life, both for lobsters and for us, to face periods of discomfort in order to move forward and become stronger. And on Be a Lobster, we are going to teach you how to get comfortably uncomfortable. Let's become confident. Get it? Because lobsters have claws. Life's too short to hide in your shell, so let's get out of it. Today I'm wearing, I don't know if you're listening through Chapman Radio Live or through the live stream. Being a lobster right now, I'm wearing a big lobster costume. You can't miss it in a crowd. You really can't. I've just walked through the Chapman gym and saw all the gym bros in my lobster costume, and I was nervous. The gym is a scary place at Chapman University. I kind of ran through. But hopefully by the time that I'm getting used to wearing this big red costume that you can't miss in a crowd, that soon I'll walk in it with a ton of pride and confidence. But basically by wearing this costume, it's like you're so secure in yourself that you become unwavering. You're like, yeah, I'm wearing this lobster costume. This podcast is for people also who are super passionate about something, but they don't feel comfortable sharing it with the world. People who apologize all the time for no reason, people who are afraid to be seen, people who avoid potentially embarrassing things like the plague. If you want to post on the internet, but you're too scared of what others will think, or what somebody's going to think about an unconventional hobby that you have. Have you ever worn an outfit that you loved when you were home, but then you leave the house and then suddenly you're embarrassed because you're standing out too much? Just last week, I was walking through campus and I had a different hairstyle on. And by the time that I got to class, I had taken it out because I was just too shy to wear Princess Leia buns in class. Why? Why? The world is so large, and I bet that nobody would have even thought twice about me wearing Princess Leia buns. But I had to take them out before going to class. There's no reason for that. Walking shoulders down, hiding in baggy clothes. I think that the real moral of the story is that shame and embarrassment or doing uncomfortable things can lead to self-reflection, and then that self-reflection leads to growth. And then that growth means that you're becoming the person that you need to be. When I first came to Chapman, I kept myself in a super small bubble. I go to Dodge College. I'm a documentary major, and I often was kind of just sticking to my small group of friends because that's what felt safe and comfortable to me. I ended up sorority rushing, and my bubble was popped, and it was so scary. Because then people around campus, they knew me and they saw me, and just the thought of that just caused me so much anxiety that since then I've just been so nervous to kind of like meet new people and meet new friends. But I really also wanted to start this podcast because I don't want to live that life, because life's too short to be kind of hiding in your bubble. You know, that bubble's going to pop eventually, and people are going to think what they want to think about you. I found myself, as once I knew more people, I cared so much about what other people thought, and I want this to be my lobster therapy. And yeah, so today I brought on one of the most carefree people that I've honestly ever met. I met her my freshman year. She was my roommate, and it kind of happened out of nowhere. You never expect that the world would bring you somebody who becomes like so integral to your life just like by chance. And she's a rock star, and she's so cool. She's a boss, as people say. And I can't wait for you guys to meet her. So this is Marissa. Say hi, Marissa.
Hey.
Oh, there she is. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about yourself. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Like you said, my name's Marissa. I'm a screenwriting major. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I love music, film, writing, all sorts of stuff. Reading.
And how do you like your lobster?
Oh, this outfit I'm wearing?
Well, like how do you like to like eat your lobster?
Oh,
If you had to decide.
Honestly, just like with butter, classic. Some
Classic.
potatoes.
Classic.
You know how it is.
Oh, I know how it is. I love a good like lobster roll.
Well, you're from like the East Coast, right? Isn't it big over there?
Yeah, of course. And you obviously say where you're from. Did you say where you're from?
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. And tell them how you were in a band.
Oh, sure. I mean, throughout high school and even now, like, I've been in rock bands. I play bass, guitar, drums, so I've been in and out of them. Last summer, I was in a band called Tusk, and we had a few shows in Cleveland, and yeah, I love doing that. And I want to do one in California, too, but we're just so busy constantly. But one day, I will do one here.
And how are you liking college so far?
Oh, I love it here. It's, like, my favorite thing ever. I'm so happy that I chose this place. I really picked it just because it had a good film program and stuff like that for the most part. But I love the people here. I love the vibe. I love how, like, pretty and quaint, like, Old Town Orange is. You can just, like, take a walk and all the houses have so much character. So, yeah, love this place.
Love this place. Okay, let's get deeper. If you can think, like, what is one of the most or the thing, like, one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to you? One of the most embarrassing things.
You know, like, I feel like this is a commonly asked question in, like, icebreakers, and I never know what to say. Like, I feel like I don't get embarrassed easily.
I knew you were going to say that.
I actually do have a time. I have a story.
Okay.
Okay, so I wouldn't call this embarrassed, but a little bit, like, awkward. So in high school, I did the morning announcements, which was kind of similar to this. You just talk, and the whole school hears you. And it was me and, like, 3 of my friends. And we, like, really liked it in the mornings. And people didn't like us because we were so, like, happy and excited and loud, which I get was probably, like, way too much in the morning to be acting like that. But we were all friends, so we were having a good time, right? So we had homecoming, I think. And every morning announcement, we would do a joke of the day. So the day before homecoming, we had this bit where I would ask one of my co-hosts out to homecoming, like, live.
Oh, God.
But then my co-host would, like, reject me by saying, like, that was your morning announcements, have a nice day, instead of answering the question, because that was, like, our sign-off. So I did that, and he, like, rejected me live, and everybody heard it. And I thought it was funny, but every single class, my teachers were like, wait, so was that a bit? And like everyone like just didn't catch on to the joke, and everyone straight up thought that he just rejected me in front of the entire school, like over 1,000 people.
Oh my gosh. So you really, like, you went through rejection therapy in front of everyone.
Yeah.
How did it feel? You were embarrassed.
A little bit. Honestly, I was more embarrassed that the joke didn't come through.
Oh, yeah. No, that's so valid. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something you could do to get out of your comfort zone, for sure. So, as, like, my roommate, do you think that I'm someone who cares a lot what other people think?
Okay, just talking to you, like, I know that you do sometimes struggle with that, but you do a good job at hiding it.
Really?
I think you do a really good job at hiding it. Like, if I were to see you walk across the street, I'd be like, oh, she's cool. Like, she doesn't care at all. But, like, knowing you, I know that's not going through your head. And, I mean, 90% of it is just, like, what you're thinking, not how people perceive you. Because no matter what you do, people are going to perceive you differently than you might want or you might feel you're perceiving yourself as. So...
yeah, like, you're so good at that, I feel like. Like, whenever I see you kind of, like, going about your day and stuff, you just seem so secure. Why do you think that is?
Well, in middle school and in high school, I feel like I wasn't that much like it, and I started watching these YouTube videos from this one YouTuber who's like canceled now because he went like off the wazoo, so I'm not gonna name drop or anything. But he would post these really motivational, like, who cares what other people think? Like, go to New York, go to California and live your life. And I was extremely inspired by this. And he had a really popular video, which I forget what it was called, but it was basically like fake it till you make it. Like, if you act like you don't care at all, then like oftentimes people are going to just like think you're confident, and then you do it so much, then it's like, oh, wait, I'm not like acting anymore. I actually don't care anymore. So I'd say most of the time it's an act that kind of just like I forget I'm acting.
Right. Okay, yeah. I feel like Rihanna said that once.
Really? She probably
Remember,
did.
there's a quote where she's like, fake it, like something. Do you know what I mean?
I think I know what clip you're talking about.
Yeah, there's that clip. I'm going to find it. Yeah. Well, okay. This is something that we were talking about the other day in the kitchen, because kitchen talks get deep. What's the worst thing that someone could say to you, and it'll be like that's the thing that hits the hardest for you, like something that would make you feel super small?
Well, I think I care a lot about how I make other people around me feel. So if someone ever said like, you're making us uncomfortable, like,
yes,
leave, like, you're doing too much, like, you need to go. I would just feel awful.
Yeah.
And I would, like, think about that for the rest of my life, like, lying in bed, like I was acting crazy once, and, like, they needed me to leave. I was ruining the vibes. Like, I never want to do that.
Like a vibe ruiner. Yeah. No, I totally get that. And I feel like going off of that, mine would be somebody telling me to shut up or to stop talking. Like, oh, you need to, like, shh, like, be quiet. Because as a child, I was so obnoxious, like, so kind of, like, would fool around all the time. Like, I'd always be talking louder than everyone else. I was a theater kid. And, yeah, whenever I was told to stop talking, I feel like that, like, if somebody were to say that now, it would just send me back to my inner child, being like, no, like, somebody just told me to stop talking. I was also not a cute kid. Like, I was not a cute kid, and it made such a difference. Like, when I grew up and glue up, I guess I still kind of feel like the ugly little child if somebody were to say something that would trigger the inner child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, speaking of inner child, let's talk about things that we wish that we did as children that we never had the guts to do that would have changed the trajectory of our lives now.
Yes. I've been thinking about this one.
Okay.
So, there was this time, well, I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So growing up, I was like the basketball girl. Like, I was known for playing basketball. Like, I played on multiple teams, like, each season. I was, like, wanting to do it in high school and potentially college.
Yep.
And I was, like, the best on my little CYO Catholic school team, which wasn't, like, a big feat, but I felt like big dog on campus.
Yeah.
And, like, now I'm known for, like, being in film or, like, being a musician. Like, it was, like, Marissa the basketball player. And in 7th or 8th grade, my school's was, like, a super small school, and we didn't have enough girls to make a basketball team. So a couple of us who still wanted to play were eligible to play on a different school's team, like another Catholic school's team.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of girls because this school was a lot bigger, and I was no longer, like, the best one on the team and the person who stood out, and I didn't know anyone except for, like, a couple girls who had came, and everyone else, like, the girls I knew from my school got along super well with the other girls, and I just felt like I felt like, what's that saying, like, fish?
Odd
like,
man
a
out.
small fish
In a big pond.
And I used to be, like, a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
And I guess I wasn't secure enough to be able to, like, handle it because it wasn't fun for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I ended up, like, breaking my finger, like, halfway through this season.
Oh, no.
And the doctor's like, you cannot play for the rest of the season or whatever. But after I did that, I still could have gone to the practices and the games, and they'd always tell me to, like, Marissa, come on, like, why aren't you here? Like, you can watch, you can play a little. And it was just an opportunity for me to not go anymore because I didn't feel comfortable in those surroundings anymore. And then the next year, I didn't play basketball because I didn't want to go back to that because I didn't want to just be another player or be the odd one out who didn't go to that school. And honestly, I think if I just carried through and I was secure enough to not be the best or secure enough to go out and be with the other girls and, like, get active in the team and stuff like that, like, I definitely think I would have played through high school, and I think I would be, like, still very passionate about it now because it was a big part of my childhood. But yeah, after that, I just stopped playing because I was too afraid, and now I can't even remember the last time I touched a basketball.
I remember the last time you touched a basketball.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it was we had the, like, little tournament with Harold. Remember that? Or was that you?
I have played basketball with Harold, I think. I don't know if I feel like I've been there with you.
Didn't you beat him?
No. No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, let me talk about, first of all, that's a really good sentiment. And, yeah, I feel like, I have a ton of those too. I always wish that I kept up dance as a child. Now whenever I see all the cool hip-hop dancers at Chapman.
Dancers are the coolest.
I know, and as a kid, I would always just cry, never wanted to go. I always tell this story because I think it's super feminist of me. When I was little, I was probably in, like, the 2nd or 8th grade. I was in the 2nd grade and I was 8. They would always make the girls at my dance team. They would always make them wear tights, and I felt like a naked fat baby. And I was like, I'm not wearing these tights anymore. I want to wear pants because there was a boy in the class who always got to wear these cool, funky jazz pants, and I wanted to wear the cool, funky jazz pants. So I said, I'm so done, and I told the lady, and then they had to talk about it, and it brought it up to the higher ups and the owner of the dance company, and then she ended up saying that yes, the girls could wear pants, and then all the girls started wearing pants. I was like, okay, I am eight whole years old now. I'm not wearing baby tights. The pink baby tights were not a look. So then, yeah, everyone got to wear the cool, funky jazz pants. So I was uncomfortable, and I did speak up that time. Well, my mom spoke up for me, but I spoke up to my mom and my mom.
And that's a big thing to do
as an 8-year-old.
Like, already making dress code changes. Like, okay.
Okay, brought it to the higher ups. Okay. Also, something that I wish that I did as a child, I always wish that I had followed my dream of becoming a Minecraft YouTuber. Because now to this day, I wish that I was a Minecraft YouTuber or a streamer, which I feel like I'm healing my inner child right now on stream with this cool microphone in front of my face, and I look to the side and there's a chat and stuff. And I like, you know how the streamers will be like, okay, drop a W in the chat, drop a W in the chat. Like, I can't wait for people to actually listen to this and people to be in the chat, and I'll be like, chat.
Yes, it would be cool to refer to them as chat.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
what's up, chat?
What's up, chat? Like, I feel like I'm a Twitch streamer right now. If anyone's listening, chat, comment on the chat. Yeah.
Come on, chat.
Come on, chat. Yeah, I hope people are listening. If you are listening and you want to call, here's the request line. 714-516-6187, okay? 714-516-6187. And I want to hear about the things that you stopped doing as a child, but you were too scared to do. And now you're like, oh, I wish I did that as a kid. Because you can still do it. Like, you could still get back into basketball. I could become a Minecraft YouTuber.
Why don't you?
I don't know. Okay, another thing, I wonder if people who blew a lot of stuff up in creative in Minecraft have destructive personalities now, and how that changed the trajectory of their life. Like the kids who went on creative mode and were like, I just want to blow up this village.
Oh my god.
Are they destructive people now?
Wait, because that takes me back to when I was in summer camp and we would have like a couple days a month where we can bring in electronic. We'd have to like pay money to use our electronics, and we'd all join like a Minecraft server, and there's always like one person who would wreak havoc on it.
And are they crazy?
I feel like, yeah. Like, they were the bad
Probably.
apples.
They were the bad apples. If you're going on GTA and stuff and you're like blowing things up and like hurting people, like, are you okay? Like, I go on, get a cute outfit, like that reflects me. Like what you do on video games, I feel like has an impact on who you are.
Especially when you start playing so young. Like, when I hear some people talking about playing GTA at like 11 years old.
And they're like, I went to the strip club. Like
are you okay?
Are you now?
Check on him.
Like, I want, like, what, where do you work? Like, are you, like, what, how do you see women?
Yeah. Do you have any female friends?
No, because actually, also The Sims too. Like, I always would make Sims videos as a child and be like, let's play The Sims 3 season. I never posted those. Why? Oh, but you know what though? I don't know if anyone knows this game, Movie Star Planet.
Yes.
I would spend like hundreds of dollars a year on this game. Like, force my parents to buy me like VIP for a year. All of that, and we put a lot of money into this Movie Star Planet account, and I had a video that went like semi-viral as a child, and it kind of like imploded in my head at the time, and I was ready to do it, but guess what? I was too scared. I was too scared of being bullied at school. I already was, but if I had started to like actively post and be a Sims 4 YouTuber, probably people would have thought that I was crazy, but now I'm like, these streamers and gamers make bank, or they made bank, and now they're happy at home in their like own lives, you know, with their extra money from their YouTube side gig that they had when they were 13, and then they just poof off the internet, and then they're fine, and they have that money, and now they're able to go about their daily lives knowing that they did the streaming thing. Like I shouldn't say it, but someone we know
that we're very close to.
Was a streamer, and she doesn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on. I'm like, give me your account. Like, I'll pretend to be you. Like, I'll be like, you can have your voice on it. Just tell people that it's me so that I can take the credit for your streams. Like, just like, if you don't want it to be you, it could be like a Radio Rebel moment and be like, right? And you can be like, okay, it's her. And then it's actually her voice, but the whole time they're just saying that it's someone else.
Yeah, that could be cool. And I think like going back to like, I didn't do it because people would have bullied me even more. Growing up, you realize the people who like do different things and aren't afraid to post, like, not once do I think, oh, what a weirdo, like they shouldn't be posting that. I think like, okay, like, do your thing.
The normal people don't care.
The people who are secure in themselves, like,
don't care.
Are,
yes.
like, talking about you.
Literally. I mean, I did, like I did pageants and stuff in high school, and, I'd walk the halls and people would be like, oh, Miss Massachusetts is here. Oh, like, are you going to Miss America? Blah, blah, blah. And at that time, I would get, like, red in the face and people found a video of me singing and would shout it, like, in the halls. They'd be like, oh, Jenna, like, blah, 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 like, taunting me. Like, I was in math class one time, and there was this kid who just found this video of me on YouTube singing and just was playing it over and over again with a table of boys, like, in my math class, just laughing, playing it over and over and over again until I showed discomfort, which I obviously didn't. I played it off, and I was like, that's me. Like, what? Why are you trying to make me embarrassed for something like this? But, yeah, at the time, that crushed me. Mm-hmm. And now looking back, I'm like, okay, what were they doing? Where are they? Where are they now? I'm here in California living my dream, and my dream is to be seen, is to make content. I wanted to sing. I wanted to do these things that put me in the public eye. There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't know why I was so ashamed of that. And I feel like that's like a big part of why I wanted to start this podcast, because I want people who are being judged and the people that are doing the judging to just stop and just let people feel I think the people that are doing the judging definitely have they're projecting. Like, they have things that they want to do that they're afraid to do, so they're judging people who aren't afraid.
Oh, for sure.
So I feel like that's like a big part. But yeah, sorry, I went off topic for a little bit, but I did do Fortnite Twitch streaming. And yeah, I stopped it. I was scared. Would you do Twitch streaming?
See, I never really got into big gaming. I did like Pokemon on my DS as a kid and called it a day.
Yeah, I know you were into Pokemon, because I get woken up every day by your alarm.
Yeah, my alarm is
Pokemon, gotta song. Catch 'em all. Mm-hmm. It's been like that since the first day of freshman year.
It's been like that since like middle school. Like, I don't change things.
I remember the first time that I heard it. It was like the first night, like first morning that I ever knew you, and I just got woken up to the Pokemon theme song, and I was like, whose was that? It definitely wasn't the rocker chick roommate. No, it was. And so, like, now knowing you, it made sense. When I first met you, I just assumed that you'd be like, yeah, like, I'm Marissa, like, whatever. Hey, like, yeah, I just, like, roll out of bed like this, like, I wake up. I'm
smoke a cigarette, play some guitar.
I usually, like, fall asleep next to my guitar, like, writing music. There's the notepad next to me. Want to hear the song I wrote? Like, that's what I thought that you were going to be like. But it's like, Pokemon! It was surprising. That's what I love about you, though, you know?
Yeah, that's what I love about you, too. You're so different than anything I'd expect. When I first found that I was roommates with you, I've told you this a million times.
Yeah.
Like, me and my friends were like, oh, this is, like, crazy. Like, you're roommates with Miss Teen Massachusetts. But, like, I always knew that you'd be, like we'd get along really well. Mm-hmm. But, like, I think people, like, stereotype, like, pageant girls for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I went into it and you're just like the opposite of what anyone would expect from you.
I get that all the time, and I think it's so funny, but I actually, like, I kind of love it. I love proving people wrong.
Subverting expectations.
I love it. I don't know. There's just something about, like, people being surprised. Like, I don't want, like, I feel like I'd be more upset if people were like, oh, you're exactly how I thought you'd be.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what does that mean? You had a preconceived notion of me.
Yeah.
You're a judgmental person. You know? Then it's like, well, what did you think? You just think things about people, everyone, before meeting them? Like, what? Okay. Anyways, what was your number one dream as a child? Like, you were like, I'm going to, like, by the time that I'm 19, like, I'm going to be here. Like, did you have anything? I did.
Well, growing up, like, as a kid, elementary school, I wanted to be a heart doctor. Because my parents, like, when I said it, they were like, yes, oh my God, you're so smart, Marissa. Yes, you're going to medical school. Like, wow, we're so proud of you that you're so smart to even think that you want to be a cardiologist. Like, look at you. And I got so much attention for it. And they told other family members, our daughter wants to be a cardiologist when she grows up. So that was my thing because it got me attention. But as soon as I think I became conscious, I realized I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I wanted to do something creative, and my freshman year of high school, on the first day of school, my English teacher made us all write letters to our future selves. And
Yeah.
she said, I'm going to give them to you on your last day of senior year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't even remember this letter. Like, obviously, you write it on the first day of school, and it's done.
Yeah.
And my senior year, last day, she gave me this letter, and I was like, what's this? I opened it up, and it said, like all of this, like, awesome things. Like, I was really into, like, affirmations, so it was just positive things about myself. And then it was like, P.S., like, you better be in college in California right now.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, because that's so sick, because a similar thing happened to me right before coming to Chapman.
Really?
I was going through kind of like my old things, and there was all the kind of things I did growing up, like my Father's Day worksheet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a worksheet that was like, when I grow up. And I drew myself holding a camera, and it said, when I grow up, I want to be a California director, or like a director in California.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like I had done this when I was in probably second grade. I was like, what? How did I even know what a director was?
Yeah, no,
And
that's
now,
impressive.
like, that's what I want to do. It's so weird how everything does end up coming full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything happens how it's supposed to be. Even though I thought that I was going to be, like, famous by now. Like, I thought that I was going to be, like, a famous, like, streamer.
Honestly,
Like I thought I was
same.
getting...
Like, this is ridiculous because I do absolutely nothing to, like,
I
give
know,
myself a
me
reason
too.
to be famous. But I genuinely thought, like, this is bad because I know people have to work hard for, like, everything. And I feel like I've worked really hard to get to this
Yeah.
position. But
Mhm.
I truly just thought that I wouldn't actually have to do anything and I'd get here and somehow I'd just, like, become famous for something.
No, because me too. I don't know. Maybe it was Hannah Montana. Like, she didn't even... Okay, she just woke up... Hannah Montana just woke up one day and was like, oh, we're just gonna, like, release her out and she's gonna do these concerts. And then Hannah Montana was an overnight success. Seeing that as a child, I was like, okay, well, that'll probably happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll probably wake up one day and they'll be like, do you want to perform? And it'd be an overnight success. They were showing me these shows and I had unrealistic expectations for my teenage years. So I was like, okay, I guess when I was applying to college, I was like, okay, I guess I have to actually apply to college. I'm not famous.
Yeah.
But that crushes my inner child. Like, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going through the motions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think once we
I'm being
find our
sarcastic,
little
by the
pocket
way,
of,
I
like,
swear.
how to get successful, like, once we follow through that and, like, work really hard at it, like, it's not just gonna happen, but
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
day, even if it's, like, 20 years from now, we'll be successful in whatever we try to do.
I really want you to tell your Halloween and Christmas stories. Please.
Okay.
Please share
Okay.
for
These
the
are kind of
for the
random
viewers.
stories. I feel like these aren't the best ones I have, but
Okay, well, what's the
this
best?
is, like,
What are the
we're
best
talking
ones you
about,
have?
like, childhood and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like it makes sense.
It
And
makes
Halloween's
sense.
right around the corner.
Halloween is right around the corner.
Yeah. So, growing up, for most of my life, I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween. So I celebrated it, like, had my little princess
Why weren't you allowed?
costumes and
Also,
stuff
can
like
you
that.
can you say why weren't you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course I'll get into that. So at 6 years old, that was the last time I trick-or-treated or celebrated Halloween, or we had Halloween-themed decorations in our house. Because around that time, Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on our door, and we became extremely, extremely close with them. Like, we'd go to their services every Sunday. They would babysit me, and I would play with their kids. And
The Jehovah's Witnesses?
I was babysitted regularly by the Jehovah's Witnesses. And let me tell you, like, first of all, nicest people I've ever met. They're so sweet, and most of them, I mean, I can't really generalize, but the ones in my area were so, like, successful, and they just had, like, really beautiful lives with beautiful families and, like, the perfect, like, dog and giant house and nice yard. So they were just, like, super kind, and I know, like, people don't know much about them, so sometimes they have a kind of negative connotation about them.
Yeah.
But, like, no tea, no shade, like, I love them.
Yeah.
So
We
they
love them.
don't celebrate most, if any, holidays, and they taught my mom the origins of Halloween, which are supposedly, like, based in medieval times, like that have to do with like evil spirits or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like kind of wild. And my mom was like, we have to be like them. Like, this is evil. We can't manifest this. Like, Halloween's evil and you can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I was not allowed to do Halloween, and it
You were not allowed to do Halloween.
I couldn't dress up. I couldn't trick or treat. Nothing like that. And my school, it was super small, like I mentioned before, and this one guy who's super cool now would always have these Halloween parties that were hosted at his house, and his mom was one of the moms that like did the most, and everybody wanted to go to his Halloween party because it was so
She was like a Pinterest
decorated.
mom?
Exactly. Like, the snacks were beautiful.
Oh.
It was like your dream
I had one of
party.
those too. Like, yes.
Like,
those
that
were the
kid
best.
who like has the
Everyone wanted
amazing
to go to
parties for
those.
kids, and I was never allowed to go because no matter what, it's evil, and we'd be manifesting evil. So the first time I celebrated Halloween was my junior year, because that was like the year I was able to sneak around. You know?
Oh.
So yeah, I'm still a Halloween newbie.
Right. Do you want to tell people like what we're gonna do for Halloween? Our Halloween costumes.
Yeah, me and Genzi are going to be Charlie XCX and Billie
Eilish
from
in the guest music video. And yeah, we're gonna, and for people who don't know guest music video, it's a song that's like, you wanna guess the color of my underwear. Why do I sound like, wait, this is so cool with the mic. You wanna guess the color. I sound just like her.
Wait, Billie, is that you?
And I'm gonna do like my favorite movie. I just convinced today for somebody to do Rowley and Greg with me, or Rowley and the Roderick,
yeah.
or because I don't want to be Greg. I don't want to be Greg. He's the villain of that story. I love him, but I would not want to dress like him. I want to dress like Rowley, so I could be like, "What? Don't come by my house. We're done."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wear the orange little wig. I'm going to dress like a little boy, and it's going to be so funny, and I'm going to post it on TikTok, and it's going to be great. We should do a Halloween episode where I come in my Roderick costume, or my Rowley costume.
That could be fun.
We could do, like, a whole thing. A whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What's the biggest L you've ever taken, and how did you recover?
The biggest L I've ever taken...
Let me think. I probably should know my biggest L, but I don't know. But I should have thought about this for myself if I'm asking you this question. It's kind of a big one. When did I take an L? Never.
Never in my life.
I've never taken an L. I only do W's.
Yeah, we only win here. No,
Yeah.
I've definitely had like little like hiccups in my life that looking back on them, they're like so irrelevant, but in the moment it was just like so big and like all consuming, and the only thing I can think about. It
always is.
So it's hard for me to like think about it now as like a big L, because I know like it literally didn't matter.
Right. Like it's like you just like totally forgot about it because you're like, whatever. Like that was.
Yeah. Like we moved on.
We moved on.
We're different people now.
We moved on. Do you remember like an L that I took this year? You can say it. I mean, I don't.
L that you took?
When did I take an L?
No. But, like, what's considered an L? Because, honestly, like, this is annoying, and I know everybody says this, but so many things are, like, positives that you don't know that are going to happen. Like, in the moment, you're like, oh, that sucked, but then you're like, wait a second, now I know not to do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't have known that if this didn't happen. And it's, at the end of the day, it's not really an L.
Like, when I, like, stayed in a talking stage for a while, and then everyone was like, you totally messed up. Like, you lost that situation, whatever. Like, you should have stayed with him, whatever. And then you find out that they're actually a freaking psycho.
Dude,
months later, and it all comes full circle, and you're like, "Puh, I didn't take that L."
Yeah, no, that's like kind of like the situation I had earlier in the year with my friends. Everyone was like, that's a weird dynamic your friends have. Like, why is your best friend hanging out with your ex-boyfriend?
Whoa, you can't just drop that lore and not explain it.
Maybe next time.
No, she just like, why is your best... Why is your best friend dating your ex-boyfriend? Just casual
Like,
drop.
why is she taking him to a date party? And I was
Yeah.
like, no, they're just friends.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, I should know. But now I know to, like, clock in on
Right.
things. And to
Your
set
intuition.
boundaries. Like,
right.
I always, like, had this thing, like, I don't want to be known as, like, the crazy girl, like, the
Yeah.
crazy girlfriend.
Always,
who's, like,
you always want to be the cool
like the
girl.
cool,
Like the Gone Girl
nonchalant.
monologue. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm a cool girl. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care, but now I know it's like it's okay to care sometimes.
Yes.
Because it's respectful to yourself if you care and like
I
set boundaries with
know.
people.
Yeah, I know. I literally did the same thing. I was in a relationship for like a year, and the whole time I was just thinking, like, I'm too scared to bring anything up to you because I just want to seem so cool. Like, I don't care. I'm not jealous. I don't react when you do something that upsets me. I'm so easygoing. Yeah, let's hang out. Even though you just totally disrespected me.
Exactly.
When I came to college, it all came full circle. I met you, and I met tons of people who actually like show you the love that you deserve. And then I was like, oh, this is how a mature relationship works with other people, and this is how you like you can bring things up, you can talk to people, you can say your opinion. Like, there's so many different things. Like, you don't have to be the cool chill girl who has no opinions and like I don't even care.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you insecure or
No,
jealous or
yeah.
crazy. It just means you're good at communication.
Exactly.
And you voice what bothers you.
Exactly. That's so true.
So that's what I've learned through
Yeah.
my L's.
No, I know, right? Do you have anything like holding you back right now? I know that's like kind of a weird question, but like what do you think's the biggest thing holding you back right now in your life, if you have one?
I'd say being secure in my work and me thinking that it's good, and sometimes being afraid that like other people might think that.
Right.
Like, I feel like even if I'm writing a script or a screenplay, I feel like I need someone else to read it, which is obviously a good thing. But like multiple people's like, oh, that's a funny idea, that's a good idea, that's a good joke, in order for me to like present it to a whole class or present it to someone I don't really know that well.
Yeah, seeking validation for
Especially
your work.
in something that's like so important to me. It's like I really need to make sure I'm not the only one who thinks this is good.
Right. Okay, yeah. No, that's me, but like in every aspect of my life. I'm like, do you like this outfit? Do you like this? Do you like that? I need the other person to say it. I guess that's like what I'm trying to work through though, but yeah, that's super valid. Can you tell the Christmas story?
Okay, so I guess I have a lot of weird Halloween situations in my life. So
Yes.
as I mentioned before, I went to a really small Catholic school, and we grew up like in the school, like obviously doing Santa stuff and regular Christmas, but a lot of biblical stuff with Jesus and angels and stuff like that. And we'd always hear like, Jesus is the reason for the season. Jesus is the reason for the season. So my mom was kind of religious too, and I came back from school and I was like, I can't believe that in stores all I see is Santa. It's Jesus' birthday and we don't even celebrate it. And Jesus is the reason for the season. I'd always say that. And my mom just gave me so much attention and praise for it. Like the same thing with the doctor thing. I just lived for that. Like, you're so smart, Marissa. Like, most kids your age just wouldn't even like care because they just want gifts, but you really understand what's important in life. So I told my mom, because I was so gassed up and I loved that approval,
Right.
I don't want Santa to come. Don't make Santa. Tell Santa I don't want him here.
Oh.
Like, this isn't about him. This is about Jesus.
Yeah.
And from, I think I was like 7 or 8, Santa stopped coming and all my gifts were from mom or from dad or something like that.
Wow. And you
Yeah.
just like never mentioned Santa again?
Well, obviously it was like mentioned, but he never like came to my house.
Yeah. Did you look down on the other kids like, "Pff, like you guys are so selfish for believing in the joy of Christmas and Santa Claus. Like,
Honestly,
this is not
yes.
about you."
I feel like I was a very self-righteous kid. But it's because like people around me gassed me up for no reason.
You're like, it's not my fault. Everyone's hyping me up. Like, no, that's so funny. Wait, I had another question though about the Santa Claus thing, because I just think. So when you did find out that Santa Claus wasn't real, you were like, "Pff," like you're like, okay.
Like, it doesn't even matter to me.
It doesn't
anyway.
even matter to me. It was never about you. It was never about him. Like, not Santa thinking that this is about him.
Honestly, shame on America.
This was created by people who are trying to steal our money and time. That's not the joy of the season. It's so true. Yeah, no, I believed, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I probably believed in Santa Claus or, like, tried to stay in denial about it until literally the 6th grade. Like, literally the 6th grade. Like, was fully, like, in middle school, and was still believing in Santa. And then when I really found out that it wasn't real, I was so pissed off that I hung my elf on the shelves on my chandelier, like, hung them. Like, performed a hanging ceremony.
I love how you
Because it was, like, the death of my child.
People on Minecraft who blew stuff up, like, what's wrong with them? When you would hang your elf on the shelves.
It was kind of, like, for the shock value and the joke of it, but obviously it's not funny looking back now.
No, that's tragic.
But it's actually very tragic. It was, like, the death of my child.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I remember my dad, like, sent it to his friend, and the friend was like, what? Anyway. Yeah, that was crazy for me. I was really devastated. But also, all my friends believed in Santa Claus, too.
Wow, it was a whole bunch of you guys.
A whole bunch of us.
Not clicking.
Yeah. So, it was a shock for all of us. It hit us hard, for sure. But, yeah. And then we're wrapping up, but I just have, like, a few more questions. What's the biggest risk that you've ever taken?
Honestly, joining a band for the first time, I was never, like, as a child, like, after a certain point, like, super shy, but
right.
My one friend said their band needed a guitarist, and I wasn't super good at the time, but I knew I kind of wanted to see what this is like, and he gave me his manager's phone number, and I remember being so scared to, like, call this person because I didn't know who this guy was. He was just like, call my manager if you want to do this. Like, you can do this if you want to do it, but you have to call and you have to decide you want to. And I remember talking to my mom, like, I'm so scared, like, I don't want to call. And my mom was like, girl, just do it. Like,
right.
Do it. And I did it, and I showed up to the rehearsal in this, like, old man's basement, and I pushed through, and it was, like, one of the best decisions I've ever made.
It, like, made you who you were? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And
How
that was a
about
good
you?
experience
Oh,
for you?
sure.
Yeah. This is noisy. I don't know if you guys hear that, but I don't know if I'm, like, doing it wrong. Like, putting the mic stand. I'm talking about the mic stand. But, okay, really quickly, we're going to play Claw or Flaw. It's basically 2 truths and a lie, except it's 1 truth and 1 lie, and you're going to tell one thing that's true and one thing that's fake, and then I have to guess which one's Claw and which one's Flaw. So the Claw means true, the Flaw means that it's fake, and then the loser gets pinched.
Who's doing the pinching?
Whoever, like, the opposite person. So I'm gonna
Okay.
pinch you.
Wait, you start.
Okay, one thing that, oh God, I feel like you know everything about me,
That's
so
the
this is
thing.
really hard.
I had one thing that you wouldn't have known about me, but somebody posted about it last evening.
Last evening?
Yeah, my family being on Family Feud.
Oh my God, wait, that's so crazy. That actually is crazy lore. I saw that, but I never asked you about it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 claw, 1 flaw. 1 claw, 1 flaw. What is one, why didn't I think of one before coming on? I probably should have thought of one. One thing that's true. Okay. One of my things that I'm gonna say is that I had an animal before Rosie. And that's my dog, also, for context. My dog, Rosie. She's a Morkie, and she's going blind. Her eyes are kind of gray. So sad. But she's hanging on. She's still a puppy in her own right. And then my favorite color right now is red.
I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
The first one's a lie?
The first one's a lie. I actually had 2 dogs before Rosie.
Ooh.
This was so bad.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, the
You're
more you know.
kidding.
The more you know. Shocking.
Yeah, that's a big shock.
And actually, we're out of time, so I just get to pinch you anyway. Come here.
Wait, no, I'm not letting this happen.
Okay, I'm gonna pinch her later. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming out of your shell today, and thank you, Marissa, for coming out of your shell, and thank you to everyone for listening to Be a Lobster podcast. Thank you so much, my lobster, Marissa.
Thank you for having me.
You are a lobster. You're the best.
lobstar.
This is not the last time that you will be coming on Be a Lobster.
I sure hope not.
But don't be shellfish, everyone. Don't be shellfish. Be sure to drop a follow on Instagram, Be a Lobster Podcast, for show updates, behind the scenes, and more. And if you check out one of my latest Instagram stories, please check it out. Our yachts are on display. And no, it's not edited. It's not edited. I don't know why people keep saying that. I don't Facetune, okay? Anyways, yeah, so show updates, behind the scenes on Be a Lobster Podcast. I shall see you later. I shall see you later. Get it? Like, see, I shall see you later. It's a celebration. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. And I'm going to play this song. See you guys.
You want to do one more? Yes. The all-new Chapman Radio.
I'm sure you had it right down in that foggy wood, but we're turning ashes into gold here. Don't you go and get annoyed with the mercury rising. The fire just started. Now you wanna switch the song where we don't have to get along. It's hard to sing it